Buddy, I'm at Parcaut. I'm here with Bobby Atkins, and we are the Veterans Edition of Real Estate Jerky.
Good
Thanks
morning.
for being here, Bobby.
Always a pleasure, Ed.
Yeah, that's what you say, but I hear what you say behind. That guy, Ed, he's a pain in the ass. I'm just kidding. All right.
You heard that?
Yeah, I know. It gets through the grapevine, don't you worry.
Yeah.
I know I'm a pain in the ass. That's just how I am. But it's because I'm very direct, and I want to make sure you understand what's going on. I know there's other people who do it differently, but I'm sorry. I'm still a vet. We're very direct.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's going on with you? I mean, rates, we're just where we're going to be for a while until somebody over the weekend was asking me, should they buy? They're in Michigan. I'm like, well, regionally, it depends on what's going on in every area. But if it's the same as what we're going through, you're going to, yes, you should buy. You can, and I don't want to say, well, you can always refinance. Well, you can, but you should be okay with the payment that you're going to get into, whatever that number is, and be okay with it for a while.
Yeah.
And that's all I there's less competition. There's no competition. People are so scared. They're worried about making a mistake. Where before it was like, it's cheaper than renting. It's the same as renting. And now it's an investment. Why is it when it's an investment, you have to really worry?
Yeah. That's the one investment I don't worry about is real estate, man.
I know, but for everybody else, it's like, they're so worried that they're going to make a mistake and the values are going to plummet because half the stuff out there, probably 60% of the stuff out there, people are going, there's a bubble coming. There's a bubble coming. No, there's not.
Okay. Not to be morbid, man, but unless, half of the or half of the buyers out there for some reason died.
Right.
And there was
or they lost all their jobs.
Yeah.
Well, right now, because I was telling the gentleman I was talking to, and he was on one of my other podcasts, it has nothing to do with real estate. It was Inter Edison. And he's like, I just had a question. I know you know what you're talking about and what's going on. So, and I'm like, here's our problem. I said, in 2008, we had 3.5 million properties on the market nationwide. We have less than 500. We have about 532,000 right now nationwide. We normally have 1.2 million in a normal market.
Yeah.
Where's the bubble?
Like I say,
we got to triple that thing. That means we got to triple the amount of listings. And that's what these people are like. Listings are going up. You mean they went up 9,000 last week to 532?
You're seeing a couple extra?
Yeah. I'm like, well, talk to me when we hit the normal amount that we're supposed to have. And at that point, it's just, and I was explaining to him, the only people who are selling right now are death, divorces, and job transfers. Yep. There's hardly any inventory. And he's like, yeah, in the town I'm looking at, in the whole town, there's only 20 homes.
Yeah.
For sale.
But how large a town does he live in?
Like 10,000. It's a small town.
Yeah.
It's like series. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
that's still nothing. Yeah.
I mean, and there wouldn't be 20 homes if the interest rates weren't where they at, right? So
well, the problem is that they'd be going over asking and nobody be able to get into it, right? Because it's the same problem. There's, we were talking about different homes in certain neighborhoods, and there's still this one that's on the market, not the one you were talking about, but a different one. And they had 22 couples come one weekend, and the agent called each one of them. They said, we're going to wait until rates come down. So you want to wait and be in competition with 22 people instead of in competition with nobody.
Yeah.
Because they want to do it when everybody else is doing it so they don't look bad. No, but you want to do it now so you look so much better when all these other people and rates start coming down sometime next year.
Yeah.
Because he's like, what's rates going to do? So probably continue to go up to 8.5.
Well, and to your point, when we're talking about specific neighborhoods, right? Like in a normal market, inventory is low in these neighborhoods, and right now inventory is even less,
right? Because they don't want to. Nobody wants to sell in those neighborhoods unless they have to.
So it's like if you're looking for that opportunity to get in that neighborhood that never has availability, you better do it now.
But and they're selling because I see them come on and then sold. Pending,
there was one on your street, man, that sold in like 4 days.
Well, and it came right off back on the market and then sold again. But there's one on our street that's been sitting because how they changed the garage, I guess how it's cut up inside. So that one would be a good flip. But there's one that's on the corner of Insulin and a different one that's close to me, and that one sold, and they gutted it and made it huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, holy cow, they changed this thing.
Yeah, they had a vision, huh?
Yeah, I mean, and Marcia's like, oh, it's all stucco. I go, all these homes have stucco on them. Older homes still have stucco on them.
Just a different finish, right?
Yeah, well, a lot of the ones around there all have pretty much that same kind of stucco because some of them were probably, shiplack for a while, and they're like, okay, I'm tired of replacing this every so often because that doesn't last forever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what's going on? Any questions? Anybody write a letter to you? We'll have questions.
No, not yet, man. But I was just thinking, like, when is a good time to do a cash out refi? I know we're talking VA, so I know rates are not where they've been the last few years. So
right, but the question is, what are you using it for? Are you going to pay off all your expensive credit cards and you have a 50 to 75,000 credit card debt, which is probably a $1,500 a month payment? And if you can, take the cash out and drop that $1,500 to $500 more a month, and you save $1,000, and then take that $1,000, apply it towards your principal every month, you'll make out as a killer. Or if you just have the savings of $1,000 a month, you can do that also. It just depends on the situation. The one thing that's nice about the VA, even though if you do a cash out later when you go to refinance, we talked about this earlier, the IRL, you don't put any job on there. We just put your name, address, a couple documents, done in 12 days, no appraisal, no nothing. It's so easy. And that's what's nice about it. But the cash out, it's going to depend on why you're going to use it. Now, if somebody was saying, okay, I want to buy another house VA, but I want to take money out of my house to put 20% down on the next VA purchase, I would say, don't. Just you keep the current house you have. We say the reason you have to buy the other house is because of, example, say you have more kids now and you only have a 3-bedroom and that one's a 4-bedroom. We can sell that why you should be able to have another VA loan.
Yeah.
If you move to a new city, it's automatically it's job transfer, no big deal. But for somebody who has a larger family now than when they bought the house and they need more room, that's easy to sell too.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is you keep your current rate where it's at and the payment where it's at, and then you can rent that place. And the question is, how much can you rent that place for more than what your payment is? If say that you have $180,000 left on the house because you owned it for so long and your payments, I don't know, $1,200, and you rent it for 25, that's $1,300.
Yeah, that's
that you can put towards the offset the purchase you're going to do. Because if you're going to buy something around, let's say 500,000 VA, you're probably looking at a $5,500 a month payment.
Yeah,
but it's only going to be a $4,000 a month payment.
Yeah.
It just sounds so much better.
It does, man. Yeah, it makes sense.
Well, it's just when you go from, a small payment to a large payment, you're like, and it takes a while. People are just not used to our payments that they are. These are the new payments. This is how it's going to be for a very long time. Because even when rates come down, we're still probably not going to go below 5.5.
Yeah. Now, when you say a very long time, you're thinking like decade?
For rates to come down, it's all going to depend on the election. Because if nothing changes, we're going to be in this for a very long time.
We're just going to stagnate.
We're going to get into 73, 74, all over again. The same administration. And it took till the 80s when Reagan came in to fix it. And that's the problem right now. And that's where we're at. And that's not being political. That's a true statement. This current administration wants to do all this stuff and spend all this money, and they don't look at the consequences of it
and regulate the heck out of everything. Right.
Yeah. They want to tax you to death and spend all that money on programs they think we want.
Yeah. Kind of tying into economics, man. I know that if I'm spending $100, every week to fill up my gas tank, man, that, we all are, and it's killing all of us. Like,
dude, to fill up my truck's $170.
Yeah. How many gallons is your
31?
Okay, yeah, 31 gallons of diesel. So
yeah, and diesel's almost, for a while there was getting close to $7.
Yeah,
and it's not. I mean, and the problem is we're begging other countries, like, can we have your oil, please? Can we buy it from you at $100 a barrel?
What doesn't make sense is we were producing all of our own oil. And
what doesn't make sense is they were that pipeline from Canada all the way down. That was going to help Canada.
The Keystone.
But that was not just our president. That was the Canadian. What's his name?
Prime Minister Trudeau.
Yeah, he didn't want it either. He wanted to buy oil from other places. Those two got together and canceled it, and then they got both what they wanted, which was not to be independent on oil. I don't know why.
They want to go to everything electric and rely on China for.
Well, the problem is we
batteries.
Can't even do electric right now, truly. So let's not even talk about really going electric. It's
a pipe dream. It'll never work, man.
No, There was other types of cars on water, hydrogen, all that stuff, but that was all bought up and said you can't do it by the government.
Because that makes too much sense.
It's not electric. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. All righty. Anything else you want? So did I answer your question?
Yeah, no, that was good, man.
Okay. I mean, we got a little political there, but what are you going to do?
We should just change it to a political podcast that talks about real estate from time to time.
No, but it's the political thing is why we're rates where we are now.
Heck yeah,
because of what they did and what their plan was. They didn't care about anything other than their program, which was green. Did it make sense? Didn't matter. It's our plan. We're moving forward on it. We don't care if it makes sense or if it's going to hurt anybody. This is what we're going to do. Obama administration did it too.
Yeah.
Clinton did it. But then Clinton woke up after 2 years and like, this isn't going to work. I interviewed a guy that was in Clinton administration.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. And he was saying that the reason and this is not me, hates Democrats is because he was in that administration and they don't listen. They have their own plan, no matter what it is. They're going forward with it. And it doesn't matter if it makes sense.
Like a strong-willed child, right?
Yeah.
Don't do this. It's not a good idea. I'm going to do it.
And we were talking about something else, but it kind of came up on that other podcast. And he's like, yeah, that's why I just have nothing to do with any administration anymore because of that.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. All right, everybody, make it a great day. I hope we answered some questions or made more. I don't know. All right. But the most important thing is stop worrying about if it's the right time. The moment you're ready is the right time. The other stuff will come into play. It doesn't matter even if you made a mistake and in 3 years from now, it's not going to be a mistake. Right. I mean, even if we did drop 10% over the next 2 years, we're going to go up another 50% over the next 10 years. So it really won't matter.
Yeah.
Stop worrying about it. You're worrying too much about it. Just if you can make the payment, do it. All right, Bobby, thanks for being here.
All right. Thanks, Ed.
All right. We'll see you back on Thursday.